All right, guys, let's talk Tesla. I'm still very, very bullish over the next 6 to 12 months, but I do think that there's a pretty good chance in the next week or so that we're probably going to pull down to about 230 or maybe even $225 as we move into earnings. And we're going to explain in this video why. Being objective here, even though I am a bull, we are making lower highs and now a lower low on the BX trender. What this indicator does is shows bullish and bearish accumulation. And so what we want is what we saw back here for the past couple of weeks as price is moving its way up into higher highs. We want to see the BX trender continue to move up into higher highs. This is not a sign to short. I'm not going to take any short or put positions at all on Tesla, but this is just a sign that usually the gas is, getting let out of this rally and that we're probably going to pull back down into this buy zone. And I do think that we're going to end up bouncing from there. Now, today I did make some moves in the portfolio. I closed out the rest of my December Tesla calls for $225. I ended up closing half of that position back on the 3rd of July, and now I close the other half of this position today. I did end up taking that trade and rolling it into some calls for December, but this time I only went in with 10 or about $40,000 worth. And so these now are for $260. That's the strike price, 12.20. Now, the reason that I floated this over is because even though my calls were deep in the money, and that helps with theta decay, and the delta was very nice, I wanted to have much more volume and liquidity on my contracts. And so I thought to myself that if we end up seeing price pull back to 230, 225, which is what I'm expecting, then I can start to really average down on those contracts down there. And worse comes to worse, if this thing just continues to break out, since the weekly chart is still showing all of this strength, then I at least have some calls for December. Something else to notice is that today we did get an alpha gold alert on Tesla, which is one of the most significant bullish options alerts that we can get. If you guys want to understand what makes that happen, go ahead and check out our options flow mastery course. It's completely free. The link is in the description. You'll learn how to read unusual flow better than 95% of traders out there. And I also teach my 2-step 15-minute open range break strategy. That course is completely free. The link is going to be in the description. But we saw big buyers step in today for these alpha gold calls. And with this type of buying activity, that is usually a sign that we're going to see a continued rally. If we move into the smaller time frame, which is going to be the 4-hour chart, you're also going to notice today that we ended up rejecting and the BX trender is making a lower high. For those of you who are Fibonacci traders, you can see that if we take a swing high point here at 265 down to our swing low, that we actually rejected perfectly at what's called the golden pocket today. And so this is even further showing that there's a bigger chance that we're probably going to end up rejecting our way back down to test 236 or 232, which would ultimately give us a very strong bull flag pattern as we go into earnings. A bull flag occurs when we have a massive impulse like this. We pull back down to test a support, but instead of quickly breaking out, we reject at this trend line, we pull down to make a lower low, push back up to reject at this trend line, pull back down into a lower low. Before we end up breaking out, this target would be about 288 up to $300. And when you think of this from a fundamental standpoint as well, there is nothing really that's going to be that important in the next 7 days until earnings. So the only catalyst coming up at this point is going to be earnings. And so I doubt that we're going to see money really come into this and a big breakout before we have earnings. Let me know what you guys think down in the description. If you guys want to get access to all of our free courses, the link will also be down there. We have courses going over not only how to read unusual options activity, but risk management, technical analysis, my exact indicator setup, which is the market bias and BX that you see below, as well as an options trading simplified course. All of them are completely free. The link is in the description. As always, guys, thanks for all of the support, and I'll see you tomorrow.